Hello, welcome to the bird's nest. Please like, comment, and subscribe. They done unleashed your girl. I was able to post a live yesterday. It wasn't until I got home, but it did post. I actually prefer live over pre-recording. Although even when I pre-record it, I don't edit it or anything. I just post it. But I prefer to be live. So this is great. Well, I already spoke about the comments that Shedeur made yesterday. It wasn't a big deal to me, so I covered it like in the first 4 minutes of my live. But of course, it has taken on a life of its own. And everybody's talking about it because, of course, they judge everything Shedeur says. And Shedeur, okay? I don't know. They want Shedeur to change. But I don't understand why. You want Shedeur to stop saying things that you don't want him to say. If you're the quarterback, I guess you're like the CEO. So you have to conduct yourself a certain way. Unless you're certain people. Certain people can do whatever they want to do. Good or bad, they can do it. They have the freedom for whatever reason, normally power. But I'm going to go back to something that RG3 said. Because it's happening again. That's the problem. Is that Cleveland has created a toxic situation in their quarterback room. And he said that after Dylan made the I'm a competitor, not a celebrity comment that was clearly directed at Shedeur, no matter what he said, because his coach said it when they played Colorado when Shedeur was there. Said the same words. So yes, that was directed at Shedeur. And then when they asked Shedeur about it, he didn't back down. He didn't say, because Dylan came up to him and said that he didn't mean to direct it at Shedeur. But when they asked Shedeur about it, Shedeur said, I don't know what he meant. In other words, I don't believe him, because I heard those words before. That's the toxic environment that Cleveland has created by drafting 2 quarterbacks. But now it's continuing. It's just getting worse because now, look, it's politics. With many Cleveland fans, it's primarily Cleveland fans because the Cleveland Browns have used their media to defame Shedeur. Saying that he can't learn the plays. Dylan's the supercomputer. Like, they created this toxic environment. I don't know if it was for hits. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know if it's to slight Shedeur and teach him a lesson for being arrogant, for everything they said about him during the pre-draft process. But now it done got to Flacco. And you know, Shedeur liked Flacco. I don't have any evidence that him and Dylan have ever gelled. I've been to 2 games. I have not seen them speaking to each other. So they are competing and they are not friends. But he was very friendly with Flacco. But I think he's frustrated now because when he said, you see the play going on around the league, I know I can do better than that. That applied to Flacco too. So now the toxicity in the quarterback room is even worse. Now it's Shedeur against both of them. And then I'm listening to the guys, they happen to come up on my YouTube. I listened for a couple of minutes, as long as I could take it, of those guys on ESPN, First Take, Stephen A. and Ryan, y'all know Ryan, the name slipping my mind right now. Ryan Clark. They have to conduct themselves a certain way on ESPN. The billionaires own ESPN. So if the billionaires are not feeling Shedeur right now, and we know they're not, then those commentators are going to say what the billionaires want them to say, just like Cleveland media says what the Browns want them to say. And they all been coming down on Shedeur. I don't know how he deals with this. But now he's got this toxic environment in the locker room. And I ran across Rizzo. That's the guy on the Cleveland radio that I muted, but then I'll be looking at comments and it'll be in response to something from them, so then I have to see it. And Rizzo said today, Rizzo's the one that pretends to like Shedeur. I told you they play good cop, bad cop, so he's the good cop if you're a Shedeur lover. And he said Shedeur is clearly frustrated. Clearly. I said that yesterday. He's clearly frustrated with his situation, watching Flacco stink up the place, knowing he went to Cleveland because he already knew that he was better than Flacco and Dillon. He already knew that. He was a first-round pick that did not fall because of no kind of play. Whatever Cleveland fans are talking about, it's only them because of what their media has done to Shedeur. Everybody else, I started to say yesterday and didn't get to. On Sunday, all you see, Shedeur's name rings out on Sunday because every team that plays bad, their fans are on Twitter begging for them to get Shedeur. Well, yesterday I said, well, nobody's taking him, so they must not want him. Not that they don't want him, but that he's still on punishment and they can't take him. I don't know. Just like they all came for him in the 5th round, why did everybody come for him in the 5th round? I know why. Because that's when they said, okay, you can take him now. That's when they said it. It's collusion, collusion, collusion. It's not a conspiracy theory. It is collusion. And they've been doing it. You idiot. And they're doing it to Shedeur now. And he is expected to bite his tongue through this. Bite his tongue when they never let him move up the depth chart no matter what he did. No matter what he did. He was balling out all summer. Told y'all that. He was balling out all summer and he couldn't move up the depth chart. And so I'm trying to make sense of it in my mind and saying, okay, so they're not going to let him move up the depth chart in the off season. Okay, so he must have to... No, never mind. I was trying to move over for your truck friend, but okay, you ain't going to let me. Never mind. They wouldn't let him. So then he plays a game with against the Panthers because they had no choice. They had no choice because the other quarterbacks were injured. And they didn't want to put Flacco in. Although God knows he needed the reps. How'd that happen? They didn't want to put Flacco in. So they let Shedeur play practically the whole game. And he got to play with NFL level players in that game. And he balled out. Well, that doesn't fit the narrative that they've been putting out. That he was dumb. And he couldn't learn plays. So, in the next opportunity, well, Shedeur says his oblique is sore. I don't know. Even that injury, I don't know if Shedeur expected that injury to make him miss the second preseason game. When he said my oblique hurts, a little soreness, just like with the shoulder, just the mere fact that he mentioned it got him sidelined for days. So it's like, if you're feeling just a little twinge, you really can't say anything because they're going to use that against you too. So he missed the game. And then the next game, they were always planning on playing the ones for, a few series in that game. And then, of course, Dylan. And then Shedeur. Well, Dylan got to play with the same people that Shedeur played with in the Panthers game. And then Shedeur got to play with all the guys that got cut. As, who was it, Stephen A. Smith said today, not even the practice squad guys. Guys that got cut and are no longer in the NFL right now. That's who Shedeur got to play with in that third game. And he didn't do well because, I know the quarterback got a big job and they're responsible for many things, but they can't win a game by themselves. They totally cannot win a game by themselves, and they cannot make non-NFL quality players be NFL quality. He can do it with wide receivers. Shedeur can make any wide receiver pop, but he can't do it with the O-line. He can't do it with anybody but the wide receivers. And so that game didn't work out well for him. And now, so he had to deal with that. The fact that they made him look bad on purpose to fit the narrative that they've been putting out through the Cleveland media. And I know he's frustrated. I know he made those comments the day before yesterday because he's frustrated. So he's doing things differently. I also mentioned, and I didn't finish the thought, that he wears his hat to the back. Or, yeah, he always does. And so the first time they caught him with his hat to the back on the sideline, they made a big deal out of the fact that he had his hat to the back and glasses on. Well, the next game, he tried to hide from the camera as much as he could. Look, somebody barreling down on me. He tried to, I want to give him the finger, but I don't want to. I won't. The next game, he, when they did catch him on camera and he tried to avoid it as much as possible, he had his hat to the front and no shades on. Shedeur never, ever, ever wears his hat to the front. I was so disappointed in him for doing that. Screw those people, nephew. Stay you. I know he wants to play, and they want him to play the game. And something has been happening. Something has been happening, but they put that mic in his face. I don't know. I don't even know if this is true, what I'm about to say. I hate when I get information from a source that's not reputable. But I read somewhere, it could have been clickbait, it probably was, where they said that the Browns' ratings have gone down. Because they can't do anything with Shedeur. Shedeur will increase the ratings. The ratings aren't down, the ratings are what they normally are. It's just that during the time of the fake quarterback competition and even preseason, Shedeur had the highest rated preseason game in 10 years on that network. It would have been on a major network, it would have been even more, but it wasn't. It was on the NFL network. They could use him, but now they can't because he's not playing. So since they refuse to let him play, or he can't play, I don't know. It seemed like to me Haslam need to be like, kiss my grits, I'm playing him. But he on punishment. But they, one billionaire can't punish another one, can he? Anyway, he's just sitting there, knowing that he's better than the two quarterbacks in front of him, and they won't let him move up the depth chart. They won't even take Joe Flacco out of the game. And I bet you $1 gazillion that would set him off was Jackson Dart starting. The Giants getting rid of their quarterback, their veteran quarterback who was not performing, in Russell Wilson. Russell wasn't performing in 3 games, and they pulled him. And now Jackson got the team for the rest of the season. I know that chapped his hide. So, Another thing he said that didn't get as much attention, and some people tried to say he didn't say it, even though I saw that he said it. He said he knows that he could be playing on other teams, but that's not in God's plan. See, he be saying in God's plan, he be trying to use God to give him strength against the things that he doesn't agree with. He doesn't agree with that, but he's saying, okay, it must be God's plan that I'm not playing. No, Neff, it's the billionaire's plan that you're not playing. Not God. It's the billionaires that said you can't play, no matter what you do, no matter how bad the quarterbacks ahead of you perform. Because once Flacco gets done stinking up the place and they finally take him out, Dylan's going to be allowed to stink up the place for a long time. It doesn't matter when they were drafted. Shedeur was a first-round pick, was a top 5 pick. And the way that Cam is turning out, it looks like he should have been the number 1 pick. So they're not letting him play. They're not trading him. That's another thing. Why isn't he getting traded? Is it because teams don't want him, which I kind of assumed yesterday? Or is it that the Browns won't let him go? Or is it that the billionaire said he can't play no matter where he goes? That's why we tried to sit his behind in with the Ravens and the Eagles, where he guaranteed can't play. Might as well send him to the Bills or the Chiefs. So I don't know what's going on with Shedeur, but it's starting to piss me off. I mean, it pisses me off. It makes me sad. It's just an emotional roller coaster watching what they're doing to Shedeur, and then seeing people who buy it. Always saying, oh, he's just a third string. He's a 5th round pick. No. He was projected first round, top 5, honey. And I know after the blackballing started, it kind of gave Cam the win of the top quarterback by default. But prior to that, we didn't know which one of them were going first. Hi, Aiden. I don't know if you're still there. Anybody still here? I don't know. Alexa, I think that says Lenzo. These words on YouTube are very small. Lenzo. Hi, Lenzo. Hi, Alaskan dude. I miss Baker Mayfield. He's great. Now Browns won't learn. Sadly, isn't that something? These politics that is like, well, for one thing, we know that NFL owners make money every year, whether they win or lose. So that gives them even more power. They own a business where they can't go into the red ever, no matter what they do. Browns won 3 games last year, still made money. Gazillion dollars every year. So the only thing that would make them care about winning and losing is bragging rights. Because they're going to make their profits. So they don't have to care about squandering quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield. Now he out there balling out. If they ever let Shedeur leave, and I don't know if they will. See, Baker's allowed to be like Shedeur. Because they're similar. Baker, Shedeur, Jackson. They try to compare him to Manziel. You can't compare Shedeur to people who party, drink, drug. He doesn't do any of that. Never has. No partying, no drinking, no drugging, no eating unhealthy foods. That's Shedeur. So you can't compare him to Manziel. You got to compare him to Mayfield and Jackson Dart. They have the same swagger as Shedeur, and they're allowed to be in the league. They're allowed to be them, and the same thing that's in Shedeur that they hate, they love it in Jackson Dart. Now, I will say, Cleveland didn't like it in Baker Mayfield. No, Stefanski didn't like it. Then he used the media against him, just like he did Shedeur, and everybody turned on Baker. And then he left, and now he's balling, and I love it. I love it. But Shedeur, you know, I told y'all I don't like talking that race stuff, but it's the only difference between them. So why is he getting this treatment? Always trying to subdue people's blackness. They call it hood no matter who you are. They call Shedeur a boy that was raised in affluence hood because he wears jewelry. Shedeur don't know a damn thing about the hood. Shiloh recently went to, I wish he wouldn't have done this. I wonder how many people he offended that day, and he posted it, and he continued to refer to this area that he went to as the bad part of town in Tampa. He called himself being brave. I mean, it wasn't a bad neighborhood. The neighborhood looked fine. But to Shiloh, it was a bad neighborhood. He acted like he was in the hood. It wasn't that. That's how affluent those kids are. And they call them hood. Because one thing about it, you know, a lot of affluent black children, I'm just going to talk this race thing. I hate to do it, but I'm going to do it. A lot of affluent black children grow up around or go to school and live in predominantly white areas. And so they can't really relate culture beyond what they see from their parents. But they mostly outside of the home, going to school, sports, all that, and they're not with black people. That's how they want affluent black people to be. But some affluent black people, apparently, I don't know, Diddy's kids like this too, make an effort for their children to be exposed to black culture. And that's what Dion did. So, as Shiloh so eloquently put it, he said we grew up in a nice house. That was the extent of it. Other than that, our father did not let us feel like we were rich at any time, sending us to the mall with $20, making us fight. He gave us $100 one time. We fought over that. He made sure that his children embraced their black culture. And I think the fact that he made them feel like they were in poverty, despite the fact that they were living in a compound, is why they like jewelry now, because they can afford it. So they buy it, just like guys that grew up poor. Guys, it's part of our culture. Flashiness is part of our culture. I'm sorry if y'all don't like it. No, I'm not sorry. Because why does every other culture get to be who they are and we can't? Why is everybody else's culture okay and ours isn't? I don't get it. That's what he's going through. They wanted to squash him because of his confidence, his cockiness. He's headstrong. Just like when they asked him about Dylan, and he said, I don't know what he meant. He could have been diplomatic and said, Dylan told me that it wasn't about me, and he could have left it there. Well, he could have left it there even though the reporter came back and said, Did you believe him? Now you're asking him to lie. Now, in order for him to be politically correct, he has to lie. Because no, he doesn't believe him, because he heard his coach say the exact same thing, because I heard it also, because he said it to a TV commentator on the field. His coach, Dylan's coach, said those exact words. So no, Shedeur didn't believe him. Now you got him sitting behind quarterbacks that he knows he's better than, and he's tired of it, and Jackson done got the job, and he's wondering why are they keeping Flacco out here. Do they want to win? Somebody done guaranteed Stefanski his job. I think Daboll's still worried about his job, but Stefanski apparently doesn't have to worry, so he can keep on losing games with Flacco. And then they talking about he hasn't had a chance to build the chemistry with the wide receivers yet, and that's why the offense doesn't look so great. Well, the reason why he hasn't had a chance to build the chemistry is because they've been splitting the reps ever since spring and giving Flacco the least until they traded Kenny Pickett. That's when Flacco started getting reps. I done told y'all 50 times. That's when Flacco started getting reps. So no, he does not have chemistry with those people. Problem is, he's 40. It's not going to get better. He's not going to get better. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. At some point, they're going to pull him out. They're scared to do it now because they know Dylan can't play. They're playing these stupid games with Shedeur so they can't just exalt him to QB1 where he belongs, where he should have been from game one. Oh, this rookie's not ready. Nah, as long as Jaden Daniels is out there, you can't get to convince me of that. And I hope Jackson gets out there and balls out. The only reason I don't want Jackson to ball out is because I want Daboll fired for what he did to Shedeur. He started this mess. So I kind of hope Jackson loses like 4 or 5 games and then they fire Daboll in the middle of the season. That's what I'm hoping for. Then let my Jackson take off, because I do love Jackson. I love him. Okay? I love my rookie quarterbacks, man. I just got a thing for them. So I'm sorry, I just had to come on because the talk is all over the town, because Shedeur said he knows he can play better than some of the quarterback play he's seen out there so far. Yeah, we know too, Neff. Everybody talking about it knows. But you're not allowed to say it. And I think the reason why you can't say it is because you black. I'm sorry. I just had to say it. I'm not, maybe now I'm doing like Shedeur. I'm just speaking off of raw feelings. You got to control yourself. You're supposed to control yourself. Hey, Nalvolia. They just keep on messing with him. Finally, I think you mean finding things to make problems, and all the other quarterbacks schedule whatever they want. Yes. It is God's plan when it is time, and God timing it shall be. What if the Premier Sports Talk, thank you. I'll have to check you out, my friend. I dropped content on the same topic this morning. Is there some way for you to leave? Because I don't think I'll be able to see these comments after the live is done, and I want to be able to go check out your page, Premier Sports Talk. I'll try to remember that. Thank you, Premier Sports Talk. Maya P. Hi, Maya. I wish you went to the UFL. You know what? That's what I said too. But I know that this is his dream. He wants to be in the NFL. Brown's revenue was $7 billion. $7 billion. Losing. They don't care about them players. They don't have to care. Cavs are the only shot to win a championship. Browns will never get it right. It's so terrible. That sucks because they have a team and they got a gazillion draft picks already. They have a team. They need an O-line. They have wide receivers. No, Joe cannot excite them, and Stefanski's check downs does not ignite them. But they had, I don't know if it's Judy, because Judy, he's been known to drop balls. Apparently, they've been saying last year he did well with Jameis Winston, the pick six king. So I don't know what that was about. Maybe Jameis was the Judy whisperer, but Judy has a reputation for dropping the ball, dropping passes. But they have him. They have Thrash, and I'm only mentioning people that I seen ball out with Shedeur. So if Shedeur can ball out with you, you're good enough for me. Thrash balled out with Shedeur. Gage, Luke, Caden got 2 touchdowns in that Panthers game. He's the one. Caught 2 touchdown passes from Shedeur. All those guys on the practice squad, and Thrash is second string, if I recall correctly. Who are their wide receiver ones? I know Judy is one of them, but he ain't earning that job to me. I don't know. Maybe once Shedeur gets out there with them, maybe he'll prove to be good. I was one of the ones who never turned on Baker. I contributed to the NFL's profit by buying Baker's jersey last year. Hey, I got a lot of jerseys. I got like 4 Panthers jerseys, 2 Michael Vick Eagles jerseys. Got my Shedeur jersey, and I want to buy another one. I got the white one and I want the brown one, but I can. And then they put out this T-shirt. All right. Well, my signal's in and out. So I need to go. TYP Shedeur has to be upstanding person, and the other quarterback can do whatever they want. Yes, it is. Yeah. Stefanski can treat him bad because the billionaire, and the billionaire getting richer and richer and richer, so he doesn't have to care about winning. So that the players have the only leverage that the players have is to walk out, strike. But that means that they also don't get paid in that period that they stopping those billionaires from getting paid. But it's worth it. Y'all should do it. It's time for another strike, in my opinion, after what they did to Lamar. Well, the salary cap thing is a thing, though. Like, you give your quarterback all this money, you can't afford to pay any other pieces. And the quarterbacks can't win the game by themselves. So the structure of it is not exactly right, I don't think. If the quarterback is supposed to make $1 gazillion, okay, then you should be able to pay the quarterback $1 gazillion and still be able to pay other players. But they can't. I mentioned it on yesterday's live. Once Russell Wilson started a lot of money, they couldn't afford that lovely defense that he had anymore. They couldn't afford it. They had to start getting rid of those guys. And then he's been inconsistent ever since. That's been a very long time that Russ has been inconsistent. I mean, like 10 years. Inconsistent. But they can't afford to pay everybody. But the Browns didn't even have to worry about it because they have Shedeur on a they robbed him. He makes $1 million a year when he should be making 10 as a rookie. God forbid they let him in the league and he balls out after his contract is up. They're going to be paying him by that time. Probably quarterbacks will be making $70 million a year. It's just frustrating. It's very frustrating watching what they're doing to him. And now seeing him be frustrated, he's tired of this nonsense, and I don't blame him. But as you were saying, I kind of wanted him to go to another league too, because I believe that whatever league he goes to, he's going to bring the spotlight with him. It ain't going nowhere. Is it going to be as big as the NFL? No. But millions will follow Shedeur to another league. I know that. I wish he would go too. That may be the power move that he needs to make the owners have to say, okay, he done went over there and now they making damn near as much money as us. We can't have that. We got to be the best league in the world. Bring them back. Bring them back. Maybe he could try that, but I know he doesn't want to do that. I know that this is his dream, and he's good enough, and he was the best quarterback in this draft, and he's better than everybody in next year's draft. And he needs to be playing. And so if they're going to keep on sticking that microphone in his face while he's in this predicament, occasionally you're going to get quotes you don't like, because that's Shedeur. He is who the freak he is. And it is not anyone's right to tell him to change his personality when he's not out there committing crimes. He's not hurting anyone. He's just speaking his truth. He shouldn't have to change to make other people feel good about them. Good, Maya. Okay, well anyway, I'm almost home. Thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate you. I'm going to try to post this live. Hopefully it'll work. And if you have a sports page, please leave me a comment so I can check on it. If this is in your title, like, who was that? I'll try to remember it. My memory is trash. Oh, I lost them. Oh, they're gone. Oh, there you are. Premier Sports Talk. I will try to remember that. Y'all have a good weekend, but I'll be back Sunday. Now that I can go live. Live is my favorite thing. I will probably go live every day. I got to talk about other things. I cannot be talking about Shedeur all the time. This is an emotional topic for me. I want to talk about things I could be more even-keeled about. So, and I'll be able to do that because I can go live. And that's my favorite thing. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day. Thank you for joining. Please don't forget to like. You know, push the thing down and like it. And subscribe. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Mwah.